And we're back at OpenTech. We are with Meri Williams. She's the director of ChromeRose and also the author of the Geek Manager blog. And she's going to talk to us about equality in the tech world. So what's your presentation about, really?
It's really about inclusion and diversity, and so the fact that we talk a lot about discrimination and we're worried about not having enough women or enough people of colour in our industry. But I'm encouraging us to think about that less as how do we avoid discrimination or how do we become more tolerant, because being tolerated is it's an awful thing to aim for, right? And more about how to create a more inclusive environment which benefits everybody, not just a particular subset like women or people who are disabled or whatever, but how to make the whole environment better for everybody in a way that's more inclusive.
And before you had your own company, you work with big companies, so you had to basically experience this. So what was this experience about?
So I worked at a very large company for about 10 years, and we really struggled to get enough, particularly women, into our IT management function. And we tried many things over the years, including trying to talk to different degree courses, because if you talk to computer science degrees, you're only ever going to find 10 to 15% women. But also changing some of how our training and our messaging worked and our role modeling. And it was very, very successful. We got to hiring sort of 50-50, which is pretty impressive in our industry. And not just that, but really producing a lot of future stars for our organisation, which is something I'm very proud to have been a part of.
So take us through an example maybe of how we can better deal with these kind of situations and bring more women, not about tolerating, but just bring more equality.
One specific example we had interns every summer, and we used to tell them that it was a good idea to network, and it was very much in that kind of traditional business speak way of going, oh, you know, it's good to be known, and somebody might be able to do you a favour one day, and that not only isn't a message that women find very positive, it's also a message that non-individualistic cultures, so people who aren't from the Western world, tend to find fairly uncomfortable as well. And so the year that we changed that around and said, you don't need to network for your own personal gain, but in this summer internship, you're going to become the company's, you're going to spend 12 weeks on just this one thing. You're probably going to be, one of the more expert people on it in the company, and you might be able to share that knowledge. And that completely flipped around how comfortable people were about networking, about meeting other people in the company when they felt it was a more altruistic thing to do rather than a selfish thing to do. And so one of the things I think it does tend to work really well is to give advice which is more about baking a bigger pie than about stealing more of the pie, if you want to use a slightly hackneyed analogy.
Right, fantastic. Can you remind us the website, your blog, so we can know more about this subject?
So my site is ChromeRose.co.uk and also blog.geekmanager.co.uk.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for talking to us, Meri. This was Mark for Vision on TV.